So this is class 139 on Golden Doves. Welcome to Torat Andalus. I love this channel because it really gives me the opportunity to teach Torah to Am Yisrael in accordance with our old Chachamim. And there's been so much mental assimilation over the generations where ideas that come from foreign religious systems, they've infiltrated Am Yisrael. And one of the things I hope to do through teaching these classes is to remove to be kofer in Avodah Zarah, to remove those illegitimate strands of Shoresh, Borei, Rosh, Vela'ana. This week is Perashat Nisarim, right? So we're on page 77, and we were discussing about the difference between semiotics and semantics, the difference introduced by Ben Benisse, who himself was a Halabi Jew, one of the most, probably maybe brilliant minds of the 20th century. I don't know how many languages he spoke, I think close to 100, if not more than 100. But okay, let's continue. He could have probably been on the Sanhedrin, right? All right. In contradiction to the sense of the semiotic unit, the sign. So we said semiotic is the sign. So the sign means this, right? The lexical meaning, right? Or the conventional meaning. We all agree this is a phone, yeah? That's a convention. Which is conventional and therefore cannot be changed by anyone. I can't say this is a tiger, right? Because if I say, pass me the tiger, nobody would know what the heck I'm talking about, right? So it's pass me the phone, then you know what I'm talking about. That's conventional, right? So it can't be changed. That's in semiotics. So if I'm having a conversation with you, the conversation would be based on semiotics, and therefore we would understand each other perfectly. But the sense of the semantic unit is always particular and established ad hoc by the author. Now the author, when you write something, a composition, you can use words in a unusual way. You can establish new meanings in your composition, right? Not semiotic meanings, but words, as we said, in combination with other words. Right? The same way you can combine colors together to create new shades. Think of that for a second. And what's a great artist? An artist is an artist who, through combining different colors and using colors in opposition to other colors in a new way, can express ideas at a very deep and profound level. That's what the Chachamim do with words. So again, you go to the art museum, the Met in New York City, beautiful paintings, right? So you have Van Gogh, you have Picasso. So they were able to manipulate colors by expressing ideas through the colors, using the colors in a way that nobody else did, and using the colors in a way that expressed a semantic ma'ana, which people understood, right? So maybe you could create a new shade that intimates a particular feeling, that kind of reminds me of the sunset over the Mediterranean. Or maybe not, or maybe something else, right? But I can evoke particular emotions, and by contrasting one color with another, maybe these are two colors that are never together, and suddenly I put them together, and it triggers a thought process, maybe, right? So that's what they do with language. So the sense of the semantic unit is always particular and established ad hoc by the author, you see? So Van Gogh can establish new meanings using the same colors that other people use, but he uses them in a different way. So he's creating an ad hoc meaning. And here's quoting Ben Benisse. Accordingly, one can distinguish between systems in which the significance is impressed by the author in his work. That's one type of system, a literary system. So the author in his work will create new meanings based on words that everybody else used in the past, but he's using these words in a new way. And systems where significance is previously expressed by the elements in isolation. So what's the conventional meaning of these words, right? Independently of the relationships in which they could be interlaced, right? So you have those two levels of meaning. You have the actual meaning of the words. Each word is independent. That's a semiotic composition. What is that? What does this word mean? What does that word mean? But then an intelligent person looks deeply into the combinations that the author utilized and say, wait, is he trying to say something here beyond the conventional? Wow. Okay, that was the end of the quote of Benveniste. Going back to my father's text, Benveniste had shown that the uniqueness of language and its preeminence as a semiological system stems from the fact that it alone comprises both semantic and semiotic. So you have semiotic systems where things are what they are, right? What's interesting about language is that it combines the semiotic with the semantic, right? For example, sign language. Sign language is a semiotic system. This particular symbol means that particular word, right? That's a semiotic system. Then you have semiological systems like music, musical compositions, where notes, tones, right, have meaning relative to other notes or tones, right? So in language, it's operative at two levels. It's operative at the semiotic level, it's operative at the semantic level, and that's the incredible thing about language. So Benveniste had shown that the uniqueness of language and its preeminence as a semiological system stems from the fact that it alone comprises both the semantic and semiotic. That's really pretty amazing. It is particularly significant that language, in combining both of these systems, the semantic and the semiotic, uses the very same elements. And that's just what's amazing about language, that the same words can convey a semiotic meaning, and the same words can convey a semantic meaning. At the semiotic level, we have the word functioning as a sign, the linguistic sign, and here we are quoting Benveniste again. As previously mentioned, the sign is defined as a semiotic unit. Right, of course. A word means what it means. Open up the dictionary and you'll see. Or, you don't need to open a dictionary. Just use the word and understand it as everybody else understands it, because it has a conventional meaning, right? So I keep saying open the dictionary. No, you don't need to. Actually, I reject that. Just speak the word. How do people understand it? How do you understand it? Okay, that's a semiotic unit. It is received as possessing signification by the community of those who use the same language. Right, so whatever the significance of that word, so in England, lift means what we call an elevator. In England, lift means an elevator. Right. And the totality of these signs form the totality of the language. So what is the language? The language is all of the signs in the language, all of the words in the language at the semiotic level together form the language. In semiology, there was no need to define what a sign signifies, right? And you don't have to say lift means elevator. You have to say that because people just recognize the word lift. They recognize the word. It's recognized by the community of speakers. For a sign to exist, it is necessary and sufficient that it should be received, right? So I received the word lift if I was in England, right? And that it should be related somehow to other signs. I know a lift is not a chair. I know a lift is not a staircase. I know a lift is not the color blue, right? So structuralism says that things exist in opposition to others. So the lift is anything but those other things, which leaves us with the elevator, or what I recognize as an elevator. Does the entity in question signify? Right. The answer must be either yes or no. Right. So does a word, I say lahm bajin. Does lahm bajin, the word lahm bajin, signify lahm bajin? It either does or it doesn't, right? So how do we determine that? It is yes. If it is yes, everything was said and it is registered. Can you pass me lahm bajin, please? If you understand me. I don't need to explain. Lahm bajin is something that's made. Let's open up the dictionary and see what it means. No, you got the message and you passed me lahm bajin, and I enjoyed it, right? And if it is no, it is rejected, and also everything was said. If I say, pass me the iPhone, Shabbat, we're eating a meal, pass me the table, kibbeh, bajin, sambusa, I don't know what else. pass me the iPhone. People were like, what are you, crazy? What? It's food. So the word iPhone doesn't mean that, right? So nobody understands what I'm talking about. Feasible. Does it exist? Yes. You know what the word feasible means, right? Feature. You know what the word feature means? Yes. Fefuge. Does that mean anything to anybody? No, it doesn't, right? So that's not a semiotic system, right? Because it's not recognized by anybody. All right. I'm going to do one more paragraph. At the semantic level, we have the sentence. Okay, but now we could have combined words together to form a sentence. I said, like the artist combines colors together to generate new meanings and express ideas and feelings, right? So the rhetorician, a Jewish rhetorician, knows how to combine words to create ideas. The sentence contains signs, but is not itself a sign. So 1 plus 1 in linguistics doesn't equal 2. The sentence is realized in words. It's true that the sentence is made out of words, but the words are not simply segments of it, right? You can't just reduce the sentence to the words. I think it's probably like that in algebra. If I have an equation, x squared, minus y equals whatever, 13 plus c, whatever, I could interchange and switch the order, and it'll mean the same thing. X will mean whatever x is, y is whatever y is, c is whatever c is, right? So that's a semiotic system. Yep. The sentence is realized in words, but the words are not simply segments of it, whereas in algebra, the particular numerals or signs, that is the sum total of whatever the sentence is or the formula. A sentence constitutes a whole which is not reducible to the sum of the parts. The same way, if I took a beautiful Van Gogh painting and I just extracted, a particular color, the yellow, that yellow extracted from the painting doesn't have the same value that the yellow has within the painting, right? So that's why it's a semantic unit, the painting. The meaning inherent in the whole is distributed over the ensemble of its constituents. That yellow is not just the yellow sunflower, but it has a meaning in the painting which is beyond that exact sunflower, for example. Also in sentences. The word is a constituent of a sentence. It brings out signification, but it does not necessarily appear in the sentence with the meaning which it has as an autonomous unit. And that brings us to the snow and the fire. So how do I deal with language? How do I deal with words? Right? What does the word mean or does it not mean? It means, but what? How far do I take the actual semiotic, conventional level of the word in understanding this sentence? So every sentence is, in a sense, intelligent person speaking. Not every sentence, I'm sorry. But if a Chacham is speaking with mashal or with a hidah, then I become ha'iran. And that's the purpose of the book of Mishleh. Lehavin mashal u'mlisa divrei hachamim v'chidotam. The purpose of Mishleh is to help you un-ha'iran, right? How to deal with the ha'iran, with the perplexity.